You are listening to Standards in 10 Minutes from The Standard Show, the podcast that brings you the stories behind the standards with Matthew Childs and Cindy Parakill.
Hello, my name is Matthew Childs.
And I'm Cindy Parakill.
And this standard in 10 minutes is ISO 45003, the international standard for psychological health and safety at work. Here are 10 things you need to know.
Number 1, what the standard is all about.
Our working lives can have a significant impact on our psychological well-being. And the COVID pandemic lockdowns shone a spotlight on just how great that impact can be. So, the publication of ISO 45003 is a recognition that employers have an important responsibility to protect both the physical and psychological health of their employees. It is the first global standard to give practical guidance to employers on managing the many psychosocial risks that can impact a worker's psychological health in the workplace. Number 2. What's meant by the term psychosocial?
The term psychosocial describes the factors within the workplace and the work that we do that can negatively impact on both our physical and psychological health. Psychosocial risks can be introduced by the way we work. These can include heavy workloads, pressing and stressful deadlines, the nature and the type of work we do, the isolation we can often feel, and that all-important work-life balance. But it's not only the way we work. There are other contributing social factors too. These include the culture of organizations, the working relationships we have with our colleagues, plus things like bullying, harassment, fairness, and career development. Other hazards that can give rise to psychological harm include high noise levels, high or low office temperatures, pain from muscle disorders, fear of violence and aggression, or even witnessing an incident at work. Number 3. Why the standard is important.
Psychological health and safety has been a major issue in global workplaces for many years. But the COVID-19 pandemic increased the need for employers to take a proactive approach to addressing this issue. Indeed, it might be said that psychological health and safety at work has overtaken physical safety as an organisational focus for the 2020s. ISO 45003 supports organisations to understand the issues, develop new approaches, and manage the risks in both the short and long terms. For the long-term success of their organisations, employers need to address the root causes of psychological ill health and recognise that people's work and home lives are not inseparable. So, the standard is important because it provides the first international definition on workplace well-being. The fulfilment of the physical, mental, social and cognitive needs and expectations of a worker related to their work. Number 4. Who the standard is for.
Well, it's for every employer who wants to address the issue of psychological health and safety in the workplace. ISO 45003 provides clear and simple guidance with relevant examples. This means it can be used by all sorts of organizations, irrespective of their size or sector in which they operate. Number 5. What the standard asks an organization to do.
The standard asks an organisation to approach psychosocial risks in the same way as it would any other type of health and safety risk. Once the hazards have been identified, the organisation identifies who may be harmed, the likelihood, and the consequence. The organisation can then use the same methods it uses for other health and safety issues to identify the level of risk. The aim is then to eliminate that risk at an organisational level. And where it can't be eliminated, to put in place other measures to reduce the risk as much as possible. Number 6. How employers and employees benefit from using the standard.
Employers with high levels of psychological health, safety, and well-being can enjoy a number of benefits. They are more likely to unlock high levels of discretionary effort from their employees. They can also enjoy higher performance levels and enhanced productivity from strengthened recruitment processes, greater levels of employee diversity, engagement and retention, and also reduced costs. For employees, there are benefits too. They are more likely to enjoy a safe, healthy work environment and more effective working relationships with their colleagues. And more than that, psychological well-being promotes a healthier work-life balance with better opportunities for career development and the reassurance of financial security. Number 7. How it works alongside other standards.
ISO 45003 also helps the users of the standard to meet the requirements of another management system standard, ISO 45001, the world's first international standard for an occupational health and safety management system. ISO 45003 mirrors the structure of 45001, and it's written so that psychosocial risk is managed as part of an ISO 45001 based management system. The structure is also aligned to other ISO standards, such as 14001 for environmental management, 27001 for information security management, and 9001 for quality management. Number 8. Certification against the standard.
Organizations can also choose to be certified against many ISO standards. The process of certification means the provision by an external and independent body of written assurance, a certificate, that the system in question meets the requirements of the standard. However, ISO 45003 is a guidance standard, not a requirement standard like ISO 45001. This means that an organization cannot be awarded an accredited certification for ISO 45003 in the way that it can for ISO 45001. Number 9. The people involved in developing the standard.
ISO 45003 was developed through ISO Technical Committee 283. Though its members are national standards bodies, the people sitting around the table developing the standard are representatives from businesses, government and other public agencies, trade associations, professional bodies, academia and other key stakeholders. This diversity of stakeholder involvement is critical. It ensures there is a broad-based, open and balanced representation in the standards development process, and that all views and perspectives are heard. Number 10. Review and revision.
Like all international standards, ISO 45003 will undergo a review at least once every 5 years to decide whether it's still valid or needs updating. This is a really important process because it ensures that the standard remains relevant and meets the needs of its users and beneficiaries around the world.
So, there you have it. A standard in 10 minutes. ISO 45003. Psychological health and safety in the workplace.
You have been listening to Standards in 10 Minutes from The Standard Show. Subscribe to us now, wherever you get your podcasts.
You just heard a Stripped Media production.